Hello, everybody. I now call to order the regular meeting of the City Council and successor agency to the Redevelopment Agency and Housing Authority meeting of Tuesday, May 17th, 2022. Tonight, the national anthem is led by Mrs. McVeigh's second grade class from Sonora Elementary School, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Council Member Donald Harper. Now please stand for the national anthem.
I pledge allegiance.
Remove hats and hoodies. Put your right hand over your. Please remove hats and hoodies. Put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we will recite the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, blue rush stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. All the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does our star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Okay, then for a special treat, are you guys going to do the preamble to the Constitution? Can you do that?
Yes, sir.
I'm not kidding. Go ahead.
Now we will recite the preamble.
We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. To ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
Great job, kids. And Mrs. McVeigh, that's really good. That's really good to teach that. So now you could stick around, kids, because we're now going to have a moment of solemn expression. Are you ready for this? This is a moment of solemn expression. And tonight we're lucky to have Pastor David Mann of Calvary Chapel right here in Costa Mesa. Right. Pastor Mann, you have the floor.
All right. The little children, for such is the kingdom of God. So you already have a reserved spot there. You did a great job. Lord, we just thank you for tonight, and we ask your blessing and presence upon the business and the matters, Lord, that are before us this evening. We ask your blessing upon the Costa Mesa Police Department, the entire force, our fire department here in Costa Mesa, the entire force, the mayor, the entire council, the clerk, attorney, all the people, Lord, that make up the running of our city. We just ask your blessing and your favor and graces upon them. We do pray, Lord, for just this year. We pray for the fish fry, the Lions Fish Fry that's coming up again, and Lord, we're looking forward to that next month. We ask your blessing upon that and the whole city coming out for that. And Lord, also for the offices here that are with us tonight, in the mayor and the council, we pray, Lord, for their continued service through the elections that will be coming up this year, that they will all fulfill, Lord, their seats once again as they work together in the unity and the safety and the wisdom of running our city with all the other municipalities, Lord, joining in. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much. Yeah, okay, kids. Now we're going to do the roll call and stuff like that. You're welcome to stay. It's going to be a short meeting. But feel no obligation to stay. Madam Clerk, are you ready to do the roll call?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, please proceed.
Councilmember Reynolds. Councilmember Harlan. Councilmember Chavez.
Here.
Councilmember Harper. Councilmember Gameros. Mayor Pro Tem Mar.
Here.
Mayor Stevens.
Here.
Thank you.
City Attorney Barlow, do you have a closed session report?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The council discussed items listed on the closed session agenda, and direction was given, but no formal action was taken this evening.
All right, thank you. So we have three presentations today. First is a proclamation for National Emergency Medical Services Week. This week, the city of Costa Mesa is celebrating the important contributions of all the emergency medical professionals who are safeguarding the safety, health, and well-being of our community. EMS Week is a time to stop and thank a paramedic, a firefighter, and the entire EMS workforce for their services and contributions to our community. The proclamation will be presented to Chief Stefano, and so I'm going to read for the excerpts from the proclamation, and then we'll hear a few words from the chief. Is that good? All right. So this is from the proclamation. May 15th through the 21st is the 47th annual National EMS Week. Emergency medical services are a vital public service. It is appropriate to recognize the value and accomplishments of Costa Mesa Fire and Rescue Emergency Medical Services by designating Emergency Medical Services Week with the EMS strong theme of Rising to the Challenge. This year's theme is to remind people that every day EMS personnel are faced with so many new challenges, and yet they still rise above them and continue to support, respond, and care for the needs of our community. As Mayor of Costa Mesa, I do hereby proclaim the week of May 15th to the 21st to be National Emergency Services Week in the city of Costa Mesa, to honor the professionals whose sacrifices and contributions keep our city and residents safe. Chief Stefano.
Good evening, Mayor Stevens, members of the council. I appreciate this proclamation on behalf of the men and women that serve Costa Mesa, but also on behalf of all the professionals that serve the EMS profession, our nurses, our doctors, our healthcare providers. Over the course of the past few years, we've seen so many people rise to the occasion, but we appreciate the acknowledgement. This covers a wide range of individuals. Our brothers and sisters in blue as well, our dispatchers. It's such a wide range, but I'm so proud of the men and women that serve this community. They do an exceptional job. So appreciate this proclamation, and it's a great moment in time to acknowledge everyone who touches EMS in every field. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So council, let's take a photo. Well, we clap. Okay. Our second proclamation, and that week is called National Public Works Week, and we get to honor another very important department in the city, National Public Works Week. This year marks the 62nd annual Public Works Week. This observance calls attention to the men and women who oversee and maintain our city's infrastructure, such as our roads, bridges, street lights, traffic signals, sewer systems, and building facilities. The Public Services Department also provides an array of services, such as street sweeping, trash collection, tree trimming, and graffiti removal. This infrastructure, these facilities, and these services could not be provided without the dedicated effort of our public works professionals, who are engineers, maintenance workers, mechanics, and employees at all levels of the Public Services Department. To accept tonight's proclamation, we actually have a lot of public service professionals, public works professionals here. Representing them is their director, Raja Setharaman. He's going to accept and say a few words after I read some excerpts of the proclamation. The city's award-winning Public Works Department completed several substantial projects reflecting our City Council's goals and objectives by advancing environmental sustainability and climate resiliency by replacing over 6,000 streetlights with LED lights, and was the first city in Orange County to obtain LEED Gold certification. Costa Mesa has various city-owned LEED Gold certified buildings and facilities, such as the Donald Duncan Library, Norma Herzog Community Center, and Fire Station Number 1. For 17 consecutive years, the Arbor Day Foundation has designated the city of Costa Mesa as a Tree City USA for prioritizing growing and maintaining urban forests by planting 175 trees in city parks and parkways and maintaining approximately 24,000 city-owned trees, 463 acres of city parks, fields, parkways, and medians. The City of Costa Mesa's Public Services Department also maintained a fleet of over 330 city-owned vehicles, including police and fire vehicles. The city's Public Services Department accomplished various projects such as rehabilitating 9.6 million square feet of pavement, reconstructing 300,000 square feet of alleys, and 13,000 feet of medians. I encourage all Costa Mesa residents to pay tribute to our public works professionals, and let us recognize their substantial contributions to protecting our city's health, safety, and quality of life. Amen. Now, please say a few words. Director Setharaman, what a department you have. I just want to say, off the script, from the bottom of my heart, we do have the best.
Thank you, Mr.
We
Mayor.
do have the best department in this area.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council, City Manager Farrell Harrison, staff, and the Costa Mesa community. We appreciate this honor. Public services staff, many of them are represented here, are honored by this recognition. They uphold the city's core values and the mission to provide a safe, vibrant, and inclusive community. And we are truly honored by everything that you have said and this honor that you're bestowing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Front and center, Raja. Front and center.
Okay. So our final presentation and proclamation tonight is for Mental Health Awareness Month. And I'm pretty sure that's why we're wearing the green ribbons, right? Is that for mental health? Okay, green ribbons. Okay. Each year, millions of Americans face the reality of living with a mental illness. Mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being. It plays an important role in connecting with others, making decisions, coping with stress, and many other aspects of our daily life. For 2022, we will amplify the message of Together for Mental Health. We will use this time to bring our voices together to advocate for mental health and access to appropriate support and quality care to live healthy, fulfilling lives. Tonight, we have the CEO of Project Hope Alliance, Jennifer Friend, and Project Hope Alliance Director of Behavioral Health, Dr. Rachel Cardenas, who has joined us to tell us about the essential program and services they are providing at our local schools and throughout the community. And I'm going to have them come up to the podium, and while they're doing that, I'm going to read an excerpt of the proclamation. Mental health conditions are very common. Stigma and fear of discrimination may keep many who would benefit from mental health services from seeking help. The City of Costa Mesa joins the national movement to raise awareness about mental health through public education and working together to improve the lives of individuals and families affected by mental illness. I urge our community to increase awareness and understanding of mental illnesses, reduce stigma and discrimination, and promote appropriate and accessible services for all people with mental illness. Jennifer and Dr. Cardenas, or Jennifer, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you so much, Mayor Stevens, City Council, and esteemed city leadership for acknowledging the work that Project Hope Alliance has the great privilege and opportunity to do here in the city of Costa Mesa. So on behalf of Dr. Cardenas, as well as the case managers at Project Hope Alliance who do whatever it takes every day to ensure that our students experiencing homelessness, attending our public schools, have the mental health support, have the basic needs, but most importantly, have the future direction that they need to end generational homelessness. According to the U.S. Surgeon General's latest report, students experiencing homelessness have almost 3 times the likelihood of suffering from depression or anxiety. And any of us can relate to that if we're parenting children without having to worry about where it is that the family is going to sleep at night. I come to this work as a recovering trial lawyer who, as a child growing up in Orange County, experienced homelessness, living in motels, couch surfing, and knowing what it's like to not be able to share with others the type of trauma that you're undergoing because of your economic circumstance. And so it is with tremendous honor and privilege as a resident of Costa Mesa to say that the model of care that is being deployed by Project Hope Alliance in partnership with the city and in partnership with the school district has actually been touted at the national level as the leading model of care of ending generational homelessness and filling in the gaps and eliminating the barriers that homelessness causes in the lives of our kids, ensuring they graduate from high school, making them almost 400% less likely to be homeless as adults, but allowing for them to live lives as whole people with healthy mindsets, healthy bodies, and a future that doesn't include homelessness. So thank you so much for this important partnership.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for being so warm to me. And all the way back to 2017, Jennifer invited me to Project Hope Alliance to see the facility, and I encourage all council to go and see the great work that they're doing firsthand. It's really quite something.
We would love that. We're just right down the street at 19th and Placentia, and I know many of you have had an opportunity to visit, so our door is always open.
Okay, let's take a picture. Okay, that was our last presentation. Now we move on to public comments. So public comments are a maximum of 3 minutes. You're going to hear a ding at the 1 minute mark. Once you hear that, you have 1 minute left. That's a 2 minute mark, so you have 1 minute left. So really start to wrap it up because the mic goes off at 3 minutes. The public comment is for items that are not on our agenda. So if you're here to talk about an agenda item, you've got to wait till that's called. What we do is we'll go through people who have public comments that are in the chambers, and then the next we'll go to Zoom. If you're on Zoom and you want to be recognized, use the raise hand function or do *9, and then when you're ready to speak, unmute yourself or press *6. So with that, who wants to speak, if anyone, from the chambers at public comment?
Hello, John.
Hi,
Hello,
sir, you have the
Council.
floor.
Yes, Chris Coram from 360 La Pearl Place. It's an update on my rekindle fire. Well, sadly, I did have to lawyer up. After lawyering up, it's been many hours putting together my case. The city attorney asked about Edison, could have been a potential problem with my fire. Edison came out, spent 3 hours with me in my backyard, and we removed the meters. They were forensically tested. They were determined to have no issues with the system, and my drop line disconnected from my home 1 minute prior to the 911 call. This was all forensically done, so it's fact as far as I'm concerned. It was my fire. It was the night Thanksgiving Eid, Santa Ana winds. Why would the fire department leave without a fire watch, or at least, the very least, have a fire patrol? After the fact of this fire, my wife and I had to spend 3 weeks at the local Ramada Inn. Created another nightmare in our life, which no fault of you guys, but it was because of us being displaced. Identity theft and all the things that go along with that. Endless hours of phones trying to clear this up, canceling credit cards, nightmare. These are many of the facts that have led into the conclusion this is a rekindle fire. Regretfully, there are also facts that lead to the conclusion that public employees attempted to hide the fact that there was a rekindle fire. By taking the position there were 2 separate fires, but just coincidence happened at the same address, just 8 hours apart. The missing plywood in my backyard unit is also a concern. Did it burn or was it removed from the scene? The fire report says the back unit was never involved in the front fire. What happened? Chief Coates actually said he never returned to my backyard for the second fire. The next day after the fire, all the firemen returned to my backyard. They went over what happened before. Chris Coates said there was an internal report that I will never see. That's not true, because if you guys deny my claim, I will see that report. Also included in my case, I included the 4 government codes, which I feel violates my rights. My 14-year-old granddaughter lost everything she had except for the clothes on her back that she brought to Thanksgiving Day. She does not trust firemen anymore, sadly. Firemen are put up on a pedestal above police officers. They're here to protect and serve. My wife said to me the other morning, said, I go to sleep at night. Sometimes I wish I wouldn't wake up. This has been a nightmare for us. You guys will get my case in the morning, so we'll move forward from there. I hope you guys, I'm human. I feel sorry for the firemen. When Chris Coates came there, I felt bad for him.
Thank you. Sir, you have the floor.
Good evening, Council. Yeah, my name is Mark Vuksovich, as many of you know. I don't have a lot of urgent stuff to say, but when I come to a council meeting, I like to take moments to educate and share and also appreciate. And so, first thing I wanted to do is to appreciate the Public Services Department for all the work they do. Just putting on my CMABS board member hat for a moment, I just wanted to say we work really closely with them. We probably bug the hell out of them. And I just want to appreciate them for being amazing public servants and really just doing their best work and amazing hard work every single day. And so I just wanted to, wanted to take my moment to appreciate them. Taking off my CMABS hat and talking about some other things. I've had the privilege of talking to many of you about a lot of things, and so one of the things I've spoken to you all about is I'm really deeply passionate about transit. I don't really talk about that too much in Costa Mesa. I mostly talk about biking and walking, but I'm really passionate about transit. And one of the things that I've been doing is working on forming an Orange County Transit Coalition, and that work has been really going well and getting more partners involved. I've had the privilege of being appointed to the OCTA's Transit Advisory Commission, Citizens Advisory Commission for Transit. So I just wanted to share that I will be, representing Costa Mesa and good transit on that committee. And I just wanted you all to know that one of the biggest things I'm advocating for is to get some sort of real significant mass transit options down Harbor Boulevard that I could ideally take you to Disneyland, that could maybe even take you to the beach if it goes down Newport Boulevard, but could definitely take you ideally from the Amtrak station all the way down to Costa Mesa, because I think that's what we need to continue to have a livable Orange County and a reduced greenhouse gas emission Orange County. So yeah, that's that. I also wanted to mention that I spoke to many of you about a bill in the state legislature that is from Assemblymember Bloom's office that is going to take a few DMVs in the LA-based area and turn them into pilot sites so that they'll be mixed use. They would basically be turned into both a DMV and affordable housing site. So it's going to remodel the DMV, but turn it into a mixed-use property. I had the privilege of talking to the author's office about this last week, and they heard that Costa Mesa had reached out to pursue and just learn more about this, and that the author would be really amenable to be adding more cities. They just want to hear more about Costa Mesa and learn more. So I just wanted to give you all that update because I have the privilege of working with on the state legislature. Last thing I want to do is just to continue to encourage us to have more housing and more, greenhouse gas reducing housing that is, somewhat dense and affordable along major arterials so that we can continue being a climate friendly community for the future. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Good job. Anybody else in the council that wishes to speak? Okay. If anybody else wants to talk, if they could just go and get ready at the other podium. Or you can go to that one, yeah.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor and Council. First of all, I just want to say thank you to Brenda, the City Clerk, and Sergeant Grimmore. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Many of you don't know me, but Let me first off start by introducing myself. I am the only girl of my family of 8. My parents owned the food truck that used to park at Bay Street, and many of you guys heard that there was an incident that happened, multiple incidents that happened. So we were actually removed from that street. My family food truck is the source of income. We were removed from the location without being able to present the facts. And here are some facts that I just want to clear our name because there was some nasty stuff that was said about my family and I. And they were able to stand here on the podium and not present any facts about my family. On January 6th, they hit my car and left the scene. From my knowledge, that's considered a hit and run, and no arrests were made that day. On January 7th, they kept making circles around my food truck, pull out my dad from the food truck, and these people started hitting my dad and I was hit by a man and a woman, and that video was sent to the police department and also sent, that video was sent to the police department, and no arrests were made as well that day. 2 days following after, there was, that same family vandalized another car thinking it was me, and they admit to that family thinking it was me. What if it was me? Would I still be here standing? I have made multiple police reports to the department and nothing has been done. I have evidence of threats of these people that have been harassing us. There has been multiple messages of them sending a green light to my family, which means that we should be on the lookout because they might do something to my family and I. This food truck is my source of income, and I'm able to pay for my education for nursing and my brother who's a mechanic, and this is my source of income for my mom to be able to get her medications because she's diabetic. I also have a brother who has cerebral palsy and gets seizures. I just want something to be done, and poor California Penal Code 148, filing a police report is a crime, and it's what they did. And I have videos, I have evidence, and I am upset that they were able to stand here and make all these false accusations without any evidence. So I'm just asking that please listen to us, and thank you for listening, and something has to be done. I hope there can be change for small businesses just like my family's, not just my family, but every other small business in this city, because my family is able to live the American dream in this city.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. I'm a resident of Costa Mesa, and also I wish to speak about this food truck. I've been attending the food truck for many, many months. They are nothing but respectful and proper people. They provide a service for our community, which is absolutely beneficial to our knowledge. I mean, I love their food, okay? Anyway, as far as I know, they have done nothing of anything wrong, and I think that the accusations against them have been really possibly not very truthful. But I have nothing but great, great things to say about them. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else within the chambers wish to speak at public comment? I don't see anybody coming up. Okay, Madam Clerk, do we have anybody on Zoom?
Yes, we have a couple speakers. The first one is Hank Castanetti.
Mr. Castanetti, you have the floor. Hank?
Hank, we cannot hear you.
Should we go on to the second one and pick up Hank after?
The next speaker is Jimmy Vivar.
Commissioner Vivar, you have the floor.
Hi, Council. Good afternoon. I just wanted to thank the Public Works Department as well for their work, for collaboration with the Active Transportation Committee. City has been doing great progress towards bikeability and walkability. Second thing I want to mention is I'm organizing a walk for the Foundation Fighting Blindness this Saturday at the Frank R. Mason William Park in Irvine. So anybody who has time Saturday and would like to join me, feel free to reach out. And third thing I'd like to mention, a couple weeks back, there were some scammers who came by where I live and nearby places, and I was able to communicate as well with another person in the city who said that these scammers came along saying that they were offering free internet and asking to see IDs and Medi-Cal cards. So just to warn the community, I spoke to Chief Lawrence, who got on it, and I was able to pass some pictures onto him that my security camera captured of the suspicious individuals. So just want to thank the chief for that, and just to sort of warn the public and to have anybody report that suspicious activity to police. So thank you. That's it for me today.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Mr. Castanetti?
Hi, can you guys hear me now?
We can.
Very good. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Council, staff, and citizens of Costa Mesa. I'm Hank Castanetti, Orange County Model Engineers. You guys know us as the little train folks in Fairview Park. Tonight, I would like to go on record to thank and acknowledge Raina Cuthill for the planning and hard work that she put into another successful Love Costa Mesa Day. Dozens of volunteers volunteered to help us out at the train club, repairing picnic tables, painting our new trestles, And in addition, we brought a train and we set up a booth at the event. And there were hundreds of people who came by, and we were able to give away magazines, books, and I think everybody had a wonderful time. We also, once again, thank you, Raina. We look forward to joining with you next year again at the Love Costa Mesa Day. And please, residents of Costa Mesa, come on out this weekend and join us for our free ride weekend. It's Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 3:30, and you're guaranteed to have a wonderful time. Thanks, everybody. All aboard.
Thanks, conductor.
Mr. Mayor, no further speakers.
Okay, we don't have anybody further on Zoom. I just see that you're here, so go ahead if you have a comment, that's okay. You
Thank
can
you.
have the floor.
Thank you. Buenas tardes. Soy la dueña de la troca de comida.
Good evening. I am owner of the taco food truck.
Pido protección para mi familia.
I'm asking for protection for my family.
Son tiempos difíciles. La pandemia nos ha deshumanizado a las personas.
We're going through a difficult time. This pandemic has dehumanized some people.
Somos una familia trabajadora, creyente de Dios y en la justicia.
We are a hardworking family. We are believers of God and the justice system as well.
No somos culpables de lo que se nos acusa.
We are not guilty of these false accusations.
Con este pequeño negocio hemos apoyado a nuestros hijos para una educación de la carrera de mecánico y mi hija de enfermera.
With this small business, we have supported my kids to pay for their education, a career, and for my son, who's a mechanic, and also a career in nursing for my daughter.
Aquí presente tengo un hijo especial de cerebral palsy y sufre de ataques epilépticos y yo tengo diabetes. No tengo aseguranza médica, tengo que trabajar y comprar infinidad de medicamentos.
Here present with me, I have a son who has a disability. He has cerebral palsy. He gets epileptic seizures. And I myself am diabetic. I don't have health insurance, so I have to work to pay for my medicines.
Durante la pandemia estuvimos trabajando, perdimos familiares importantes en nuestras vidas. Ayúdenos, ayudamos a familias para los funerales.
During the pandemic, we were working. We have lost many important family members.
Señor alcalde, le pido que apoye a estos pequeños negocios para que no se vayan en bancarrota.
Mayor, I am asking for your support today for our small businesses so we don't fall behind.
Tenemos que pagar la renta, empleados, una infinidad de pagos del negocio.
We have to pay for our bills, rent, employees, an indefinite amount for our business.
Hago un llamado al señor gobernador que se aclarezca mi caso.
I am asking for help in the foundation of women in this case.
Pido apoyo a una fundación de la mujer en este caso. No has dicho. Okay. Solo queremos trabajar y que.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so we're going to close public comment and open it up for council member, committee reports, comments, and suggestions. And first up, from District 6, Councilmember Jeffrey Harlan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening, Costa Mesa. Just a few thank yous tonight. First, I wanted to thank our public works staff on transportation services in particular, as well as the police department for organizing and administering our Bike to School event a few weeks ago. It was really quite amazing to see so many kids and parents, moms and dads, brothers and sisters on their bikes. I've never seen that many kids so excited to go to school. But what I do want to say, though, is that while it was great to see that, for a lot of kids it just seems like a novelty. But a lot of the parents that I spoke with really want to see some sincere effort to make that a daily opportunity for their kids to just be able to get on a bike and go to their neighborhood school. And I can tell you that in the east side at Kaiser and Woodland, it was wall-to-wall kids on bikes on Santa Ana Avenue. And it was a great sight. And I know we're going to do it again next year. I just want to see us start making some efforts towards, and we have, but I want to see us making some continued effort. Secondly, and picking up where Hank Castagnoli just left off, a tremendous thank you to everybody involved with Love Costa Mesa. I know my colleagues here are going to have some words to say about that as well, and I'm going to be remiss in not naming everybody I want to thank, but I'll start with Raina Cuthill for her tremendous organizing and passion for the event, as well as Ian Stevenson and a lot of our faith-based organizations that participated. It really was a spectacular day. I mean, I know a number of us participated in events around the city. It's just a genuinely satisfying way to spend your day, and it does show that Costa Mesans really do care about their community. So I'm looking forward to year 6 next year. Make sure everybody mark your calendars. I think we had upwards of 80, 100 events. I don't know, somebody will correct me on that, but there's always plenty to do, and like I said, I'm looking forward to it. So thank you. And those are all my comments tonight.
Thank you very much. From District 1, Councilmember Donald Harper.
Thank you, Mayor Stevens. I just want to recognize, and maybe people that watch on TV, when someone comes up and talks about the issue with the taco truck they had, I see staff always follow up with those people, and I really appreciate that, and that about our city. And I don't want people watching to think we just ignore those things. And certainly if there's anything I can do, let me know in that regard. And a shout out to Vic Bacala, who gave me some coyote advice. We have 4 coyotes living on our property, given birth to 2 puppies. So he gave me some great advice today about how to deal with those. And that's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is from District 5, Councilmember Arliss Reynolds.
There we go. I'm curious if you learned the coyote dance. Okay, great. I'd love to see that sometime. Yeah, well, I guess I'll start with the Love Costa Mesa. Probably more than half, probably everyone in this room was a part of that. Really an incredible event that's grown every year. 80 this year, I think. Shooting for 100 next year. Just a really fun day, and it was neat to go around the city. I think we all had a plan of specific events we wanted to go to, and then you also see other events you weren't aware of. Volunteers and neighbors sprinkled around the city, sharing space with each other and contributing in any way they can. So a really wonderful day, and thank you to Raina and the whole team at Trellis, all of the volunteers, our city team, for helping to put that together. And thanks, of course, to our Public Works team. I know we work you hard, and we probably don't thank you enough, but thank you for all of the work that you're doing. There you go. And, I as we were reading the proclamation for the Mental Health Awareness Month, I was thinking about that connection with a lot of the work that you guys do. I was talking to some folks at Hogue recently on they do every 3 years a community needs survey, and they were specifically interested in thoughts about how we address mental health. And I was thinking, we don't have a health agency at the city, but so much of the environment and the infrastructure that we control in the city contributes to those mental health either issues or benefits. The goals we've set as a council around stable housing is one of the most important things that we can do to help mental health in the city. Obviously, parks and access to open space and community space is a huge nexus for mental health benefits. giving people spaces to exercise. So all of the walkability and bikeability work we're doing is another key asset for good mental health in our city. So just wanted to sort of add that on as a really important benefit of the work that you do. So thank you for that. And it helps remind me that we do, even though, again, we're not a health agency here at the government, we have a lot of control about how to improve mental health in the city and support mental health in the city. Okay. Yeah, back to school or walk to school, bike to school day was a lot of fun. We walked, biked, scooted. Kids love it, and I'd love to see, as Councilmember Harlan said, I'd love to see that happen more frequently. It's great to hear parents say that they're energized about doing that work, and I know we're building more relationships with the schools. The principal at Wilson School has been particularly engaged. I hope we can get something going there. But I think we're going to really need to find some parents to become really active in that and get the schools to really help with that. And as much as we can do, from passing out stickers to, continuing to show that walking and biking is a really fun thing to do. It's a really positive trend that we're on here in the city. I think most of us got to go to a bike skills workshop at Wilson as well. That was one of the Love Costa Mesa Day events. That was a lot of fun. More than 100 helmets, I think, were given out to students. And if you missed that, there's a chance for another bike skills workshop this week, Friday afternoon at Victoria Elementary School. Victoria is having their big Spring Fling Festival. It's Friday evening from 4 to 8 p.m., open to the public. I heard that they have more raffle prizes than they know what to do with, so lots of opportunity to have some fun there. And you can practice your bike skills over there and have another chance to see the bike skills workshop. One other thing I'll say is just congrats to our youth mariachi group, who we've had a chance of enjoying here in City Hall. After Love Costa Mesa Day, I had a chance to go down to the Mission in San Juan Capistrano for the Battle of the Mariachi, and our youth group placed second in the open category, and it was just really fun to see them on the big stage out there again. Thank you.
That's cool. Great. Okay, next from District 4, Councilmember Manuel Chavez.
Thank you, Mayor Stevens, and thank you everyone in the audience for joining us today. 3 points. First of all, a lot of thank yous. Thank you to our staff for always doing great in public works and PD and fire. Thank you for always making sure everyone in Costa Mesa is safe, not only in emergencies, but also in terms of safety of street quality and other things. Also want to thank all the folks that participated in Love Costa Mesa Day. I had a great time with our council here. All of us went our own different events, and it's always a joy to see the community serving one another and making sure we're making Costa Mesa a more great place to live. Alongside that, I have 2 quick things for staff. One, again, I want to thank our Public Works Department for creating those calming measures on Myers Street near the DMV and Soy and Ray Elementary School. They are at the point of almost looking like they need to be made permanent or removed. So I know in the past we've asked for a review on those measures. I would love to have a review at some point in the near future. And if we do deem that they're appropriate measures for slowing down traffic, I say make them permanent, make sure they look beautiful, because I got a few complaints from residents saying that while initially they were good, now they look a little falling apart. And second thing alongside of that is I talk a lot about the empty space on that corner of Pomona Avenue and Victoria Street. I noticed in the budget discussions, in the CAP discussions, we did not include or budget for that parcel of land. I do want us to revisit that and add it to the CEP budget, or perhaps even use our own council discretionary funds to put a fence around there and maybe plant some flowers. I really think we can make that space into like a little butterfly garden if you add a few picnic tables and trash cans and whatnot. So just wanted to add to the budget or your discretion. But other than that, thanks everyone for being here today. And again, thanks.
All right, great job. So from District 2, Councilmember Lauren Gameros.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to take a moment and I want to thank our fire department who went out in the fires that we had recently. We had Engine 82, Engine 83, Engine 85, a strike team leader, Battalion Chief Tim Vasson were all out there trying to fight fires and save homes. We lost 20 homes out there, but they saved over 100, and it could have been worse. I can't imagine what it's like to go into a burning building or a burning home. Much rather pull up to a burning neighborhood where the fire's leaping across the streets, trying to breathe, trying to run for your life, save people's dogs, save your own dog, everything else. So I just want to recognize our fire department for going out there and doing what it takes to try and save communities. It's really important. So thank you for that. I also want to take a minute and thank our public services. I myself have been in construction most of my life, so I do recognize the effort. I've paved a lot of roads and dug a lot of trenches, scared myself a few times, and I know it's not an easy, safe job. I also want to thank Raja. Every time I send him an email, he's quick with a response, and now I have to head my emails with, you don't have to answer yourself. You can pawn it off to someone else. And lastly, we have a lot of youth sports programs going on in this city this summer. Take advantage. There's a lot of kids out there that want to recreate, and we are providing opportunities for them. So please recognize that we're doing that. Get out there, get in contact with someone, and we can make sure that we have a fun-filled summer. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. From District 3, Mayor Pro Tem Andrea Marr.
Thanks. I'm not going to add anything to what everyone else has said. I had a great time at Love Costa Mesa. A huge shout out to Reina Cahill and Isabel Carpenter, but also Francine Jimenez and Alma Reyes from our city manager's office who made that whole thing happen. So that's it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. So I just had a few things. I keep adding them as I'm listening. So everybody, don't forget the fish fry. The fish fry is back at Lions Park. The Lions Club is going to do that, and it's June 3rd through the 5th. So it'll be a great event. Love Costa Mesa Day was spectacular. Kudos, as everybody said, to Raina Cuthill, Ian Stevenson, Trellis, the practically 1,000 volunteers, Francine, Alma, everybody at the city who worked so hard on that. One of the things I learned, I cruised around most of the day with Chief Lawrence, and I learned that at Share Ourselves, no, wait a minute. Yeah, Share Ourselves Soup, that's the soup kitchen, right? Not SOS. SOS is Share Ourselves. Yeah. Someone Cares Soup Kitchen. It's hard to keep that straight for me. It's a little bit of dyslexia on my part. Someone Cares Soup Kitchen. So we went there, and folks were working on a project there, and we went in and we saw that every Saturday, and I wasn't aware of this, every Saturday they marshal groceries that are mostly from Trader Joe's and other places. They box them together at Someone Cares Soup Kitchen, and they deliver them. It's not a food distribution as much as they go right into the neighborhoods. So they go right into the neighborhoods on Center Street, right into the neighborhoods on Wallace, the people that need them most, and give them a week's worth of groceries donated by our local grocery stores. So that's a wonderful program, and they've been doing it for quite a while. And if anybody's interested in participating in that, when I was there was kids from Newport Harbor and Fountain Valley High School, and apparently they go every week and they work on this project. So good for them. Today I went to the Let's Be Kind lunch. That's a wonderful, Let's Be Kind month is in April, but we should all be kind all the time. And thank you to Christina and Rebecca Robeck for all the great work that they do on that organization. So many other people that help with that. Manuel Chavez and I, Councilmember Chavez, did a podcast with Superintendent Dr. Wesley Smith. And we talked for so long. We went for an hour and 40 minutes, so long that it's a two-parter. It's the first ever two-parter of Costa Mesa Now. He's a fascinating guy, and I think that the school district is in really good hands with Dr. Wesley Smith. I urge you to listen to that podcast, even though it is long, but I think it'll be worth it, and you'll learn a lot about the person who has the stewardship for our district. I'm the first person to mention this, but I will. Harvey Milk Day is May 22nd, which is Sunday. And from that day forward through the end of June, we'll be flying the pride flag like we do every year here at City Hall. Memorial Day this is somewhat in chronological order, I think it's on the 30th. So on Memorial Day, the Monday, every year they have except for the pandemic, it was upset because of the pandemic. They have a beautiful ceremony at Harbor Lawn and Mount Olive Cemetery right there on Geisler. And so I will be there. Council, you're all invited. We can take like a little parade. You're invited to take a little parade with World War II vintage Jeeps all the way up Harbor Boulevard to the cemetery. And that's a lot of fun. And that's the Noble Cause Foundation and our police department, thanks to Captain Bacala, who helps with that. Thursday? Okay, this is SOS. Thursday is Crazy Taco Night. Wild and Crazy Taco Night. Wild and Crazy Taco Night. Where's Wild and Crazy Taco Night? Is it at? It's at the fair? Yeah. Okay, it's at the fair. So we're all going to Wild and Crazy Taco Night? Yes. Tomorrow night is the Les Miller Awards. So usually some of the council members participate in that. That's at OCC. Within the last week, we dedicated another beautiful building at OCC. And thank you to OCC for all the renovations that they've done and how much they've really turned into the community and been a partner in so many ways, including hosting the Les Miller Awards. Now, the Les Miller Awards are for the top students at Estancia, Costa Mesa, Early College High School, and Monte Vista High School. And then finally, I do have to say something about, of course, public services department is awesome, and I think I mentioned that before. But yeah, the council member Gameros really hit it for our firefighters to go into that harm's way into the coastal fire and fight those fires for a neighboring city. Really, that's what Friends are for. And I know that the residents and the council members and the mayor of Laguna Niguel really appreciated that. I've seen Facebook posts that specifically call out Costa Mesa and say, thank you, Costa Mesa. It means a lot to the county for us all to have our backs in this mutual aid and for us to do our part. And our time will come. Our time will come. And we'll need Laguna Niguel just like they needed us. So thank you for being there for our neighbors. That's all I have. City manager report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and community. Just a few things to update you on. I echo everyone's comments on how spectacular Love Costa Mesa Day was. I just really want to thank Francine Jimenez of my office in Alma Reyes one more time for the hours and all the time they spent coordinating on that organizing committee and putting together a fantastic event that I think the community was really happy with. We were thrilled and excited. It was just beautiful to have so many people come out. It was great to have the music, the food. And so I just wanted to share that there are some additional folks that we'd like to thank on behalf of the city. We had a wonderful lunch where we all got 2 tickets and we were able to experience some delicious lunch from many of our businesses. And so I just wanted to thank Holy Smokers, Descanso Restaurant, Chick-fil-A, El Ranchito, Newport Rib, Miguel's Jr., Dave's Hot Chicken, Neat Coffee, Great Mex, Corner Cafe, and Thunder King Coffee for their participation and giving of themselves, their time, and of course the food. I had only 2 tickets, and it probably took me 15 minutes trying to decide where to go. But by then, a lot of the lines were pretty long. So I just wanted to thank our community partners, our businesses for joining. And then I wanted to thank our police chief for being at the event. It's always great to have the chief out with the community. And it was great that we had a booth there. So we were also recruiting, which was fantastic. We do have openings in our police department. And so if you are interested in a spectacular career with the city of Costa Mesa, we have many job openings, but of course our police department is also recruiting as well. And I know that we had some recruitments going on also with our fire department last week. So we're just really happy that we've got such a great team, and we're hoping to expand that. We have a little slideshow for you on Love Costa Mesa Day that we wanted to share. Okay. Thank you. For our point-in-time count, on Wednesday, May 11th, the County of Orange released the most recent point-in-time count numbers, which determines the number of people experiencing homelessness on a given night. I'm pleased to announce that Costa Mesa's extensive measures to reduce homelessness are paying dividends, as our number of unsheltered homeless people dropped by 20% compared to the previous count performed in 2019. So we're really pleased that we have this 20% reduction. Of course, for anyone to be experiencing homelessness is too much, but I'm glad that we were able to actually make a dent in this very challenging social problem. We achieved this despite the obstacles that were posed by the pandemic. And I'm particularly proud to say that since the 2019 count, we have permanently housed a total of 215 people. Our outreach staff and members of the city's Network for Homeless Solutions assisted with the point-in-time count. So again, thank you to those volunteers. I'm glad that we are able to provide services at our 72-bed permanent bridge shelter for the first time since we opened. We're at almost capacity with just 2 beds to spare. And so thank you to everyone for all of the work that you did as a council to get us there, and also wanted to thank the City of Newport Beach for their partnership and being part of a regional solution. And that's all that I have for you this evening.
All right, thank you very much. City Attorney report.
Yes,
Ms.
thank
Barlow.
you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do want to make a brief report to you. Some of you maybe remember that we are engaged in litigation, a receivership case for a property at 1963 Wallace Avenue owned by Dennis DeLessio. That property was permitted for 9 dwelling units and was illegally converted into 19 dwelling units. The receiver was appointed last year, but last Friday there was a hearing in which the court considered the receiver's relocation assistance plan to relocate the existing tenants so that the property can be restored to the its proper condition and number of units. The plan includes about $267,000 in relocation assistance to pay for the existing tenants' moving expenses, storage fees, between 6 to 12 months of rental assistance and repayment of rent the tenants paid for the property because of it's being substandard, as well as repayment of deposits. As a result, many of the tenants are going to be able to locate to improved, better, and safer properties. And so we were very pleased that the court awarded sufficient funds to properly care for those tenants. I wanted to make sure you were aware of that.
All right, thank you very much. Now let's move on to the consent calendar. All the matters under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be acted upon in one motion, and there will be no discussion of these matters unless they are pulled by the council, the public, or staff. Madam Clerk, has anybody from the council, the public, or staff pulled any of our consent calendar items?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Members of the public have pulled CC 11, approval of street closure and alcohol service.
Okay, any others?
No, Mr. Mayor.
No? Okay, I'll take a motion on the balance, 1 through 10. A motion by, I saw Harlan, but
I'll make
A motion by Chavez.
I will second Harlan's motion.
Okay, so can we do motion by Jeff Harlan? Did you want to make the motion? You were trying to make it? Okay, motion by Harlan, second by Chavez.
Clear them, because,
It's like Jeopardy here.
okay.
Move the balance, is that
Yes,
it?
move the balance of the consent calendar.
Okay, he wants to move the balance, and that's Councilmember Harlan and Councilmember Chavez is seconding that. Can we call for the question?
Yes, you may vote.
Wonderful.
Councilmember Chavez, please.
My apologies.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right, great job. So now we're on to number 11. A member of the public pulled number 11, and so why don't we just open it up to public comment?
Thank you.
And then we'll just respond as need be. Public comment, anybody on Zoom?
Members of the public, Al Hahn and Joan Parks.
On Zoom, or, did you? Okay. Hold on one second. Go right ahead, you have the floor.
My name is Joan Parks. I'm a Costa Mesa citizen. I've lived here my entire life, and I'm not going to tell you how long that is. I have been involved with the fish fry since I was little, and I've been in this club 2 years now. This is our first fish fry coming back after the pandemic and not having it for 2.5 years. This has been a very difficult process. We just don't even know where we're at this point. We still had things come up today with the fish fry 2.5 weeks away. So the support from some of the staff has been wonderful. Kevin Stoddard has been tremendous for us, and I want you to know that. We don't know where we're going with the fish fry, quite frankly. So we were hoping to hear some interesting conversation tonight from the council and maybe members of the staff, or staff members. Thank you.
Okay, there's plenty of time. I mean, do you want to say anything, or?
No, we're good. I'm the president of the club.
Okay. Well, let's close public comment. We're just voting on the street closures and alcohol service for the fish fry. But Director Minter seems to want to express himself, so you have the floor, sir.
I just had one comment that I want to thank you, Mayor and council members. The resolution that is attached to the document is correct, but in the recommendation number 1, it says the street closure would begin on June 3rd. That is incorrect. It's June 2nd to begin setup. The actual event does take place June 3rd, 4th, and 5th as indicated in the item, but just a little Scrivener's error on the June 3rd in recommendation number 1, but the resolution that's attached is correct. As mentioned by Joan and Al, it has been a trying process. Staff started meeting with them, staff from all departments back in December. It was the first year back in the revitalized Lions Park. We've made, a lot of edits to both the layout, multiple edits to the layout, the traffic plan. It's been a group effort. We appreciate the patience and that the Lions Club has shown through all these different changes. There's staff from our fire department, our public services department, and then Parks, obviously, that are all working on this, trying to find the best way to bring this forward. There was a recent development, like was mentioned today, with the lack of the ability to do a certain ride, which kind of threw things up in the air. So we're continuing to work with them to find the best location, layout, traffic plan, everything to make this a successful event that is just 2.5 weeks away, like they said. So, it's been a tough going, but we think all of the work that's being done this year will serve us not only for this year's fish fry event, but for years to come. And with that, I'm here to answer any questions.
Thank you. Does council have any questions of Director Minter? Okay, I think I already closed public comment. I'm going to go ahead and make a motion.
I have a few questions.
Oh, you have questions? Okay.
Yeah, you've piqued my interest to these presentations. First of all, let me just say that I'm thrilled that the fish fry is coming back to sort of its home base, right? Lions Park, the Lions Club. The fish fry is the first place I ever won a raffle, and I think of that every time I win a raffle. Probably the best prize I ever got, too. So I'm really excited about the event. I understand that it's been challenging. I know it's probably a whole bunch of different things going on. We've got, new people on all sides kind of coming out of COVID. There's so much uncertainty. I know we've had challenges with labor. But I just want to share that my sort of favorite memories of the fish fry and what I think so many people love about the fish fry is that it's always been a really community-based festival. And so I'm excited to see all of the community booths that we're going to have, just creating opportunities again for neighbors to get together. I had a few maybe operational questions on potential impacts to the neighborhood, just to get a sense of what the plans are there. So I assume this is staff who can answer. I know one of the challenges with this area is parking now, and I saw that there were some strategies for, of course, encouraging visitors to come without bringing a car. Is that a plan that we have together now, or what are we doing for that? Is there a specific area designated for pickup and drop-off?
Yes, we're trying to incorporate Uber Lyft drop-offs as well as active transportation options, and really make that kind of the headliner of publicity. I believe they've been updating their flyers, and social media updates will obviously go out. The city will be a big part of getting the message out, is to alert the public to the parking challenges that will be presented by it.
Yeah.
Again, in the back and forth, evaluating different options for rides and trying to get as many as possible in a slightly smaller footprint than we had before, is anything we can do to free up parking, on the stalls around the park, on Park and then on 18th and on Anaheim, we will try to do. But no matter what, we will encourage all members of the public to find alternative ways to get there, and there will be a Uber Lyft drop-off. I think for future years, we would be, exploring additional options, but
yeah.
As of now, yes.
Do we have on the site plan now, do we have designated locations for the pickup drop-off?
Yes, it is not indicated on this map. The transportation plan is still being worked on. And again, that's part of the changes. There is a possibility that we might be able to open up the street that we're asking you to close tonight. So, just for clarity, that is the request that's before the council tonight, is to approve the street closure. If we can find a way to incorporate the rides into a different section so we wouldn't have to do it, that would, we would definitely go in that direction.
We have a couple folks from our CMABS nonprofit in the back there, and they might maybe introduce themselves and help with some of the communication on traffic planning. So I'll encourage that introduction tonight to maybe help with that on the day of. And then just the other question I had was related to the trash. I was just trying to think of, this is a great benefit to the neighborhood around. I think if I lived a couple blocks away, I'd be excited to be able to walk right over. But maybe one of the concerns would just be trash at the end of the day. Can you just describe the plan for making sure that we don't have a trash buildup?
As far as the actual details of the plan, I don't have them with me tonight. I know that has been expressed as part of the agreement. We will have maintenance staff dedicated to, patrolling the whole park for trash. So yeah, that is part of the working plan.
Okay, great. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, if I could point out, one of the other wrinkles that had come up was the fact that the Norma Herzog Center will be serving as a polling place on the exact days that the fish fry will be occurring. So come to the fish fry, have some fun, drop your ballot off, make your vote. It's all, tie it all into a great afternoon.
Okay, I move to approve.
Second.
Okay, Chavez got in the second. So I'm going to move to approve. Second, I just want to say on behalf of the motion, look, I know there's been some transition in the Lions Club, and then there's transition from Fairview Park to Lions Park. I'm here anytime you need to speak with me or get involved. I've talked to Raul Hara, who is part of your club, and he's got a lot of experience, and I've offered my help there. I know if there's issues like what Councilmember Reynolds brought up with scene maps or things where we can connect you with the right person to help you deal with an issue. But the other thing too is sometimes I trot this out, and I don't do it often, but is sometimes the key to happiness is low expectations, in the sense that this is the first year, and you cannot expect it to be like it was, like the raging party it was the last year. No. The last year at the Lions Park, there will be some growing pains. There will be some adjustments. It's a building year. And as long as there's fried fish, beer, music, soft drinks for the kids, and a place for people to see their friends, well, we'll work on those things, but not tonight. We're not working on those tonight. Okay? So let's circle back. If there's some issue, we'll work on all those things. Fish, beer, fries. There's solutions for all those. Okay? We're here to help. But not right now. Okay? Call for the question.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right, we have one public hearing item. We were supposed to start that exactly at 7 o'clock. Or thereafter. Okay, well, close enough. It's 7:22. We're starting our public hearing item, which is a TEFRA hearing for our good friends at Vanguard and neighbors at Vanguard University. Madam Clerk, would you please read the title?
Thank you. This is Conducting a Tax Equity and Fiscal Responsibility Act, TEFRA hearing. Adopt a resolution approving the issuance of California Enterprise Development Authority revenue obligations for the benefit of Vanguard University of Southern California in amount not to exceed $30 million. Presentations by Mr. Inlows, Principal Planner and Economic Development Administrator. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So today we'll be exercising the TEFRA hearing for the Vanguard University for the second time. The Joint Powers Authority partnership that we have is bringing this forward to comply with TEFRA. We joined our Joint Powers Authority in September of 2019. Since then, we've had a couple of projects come through. First round with the Vanguard University and the OCMA, just to name a couple. Today, we're going to be talking about another round of financing to continue to support the master plan that was approved by City Council on February 19, 2019. The master plan was envisioned to be a 20-year campus master plan with 12 individual projects. So the first round of financing was approved through a TEFRA hearing on April 30th, 2020. At that time, it was $42 million. Through that TEFRA hearing process to launch Project B and Project L. We can see Project B directly behind us, the Student Center that's now built and beautiful and being used by the students at Vanguard University, as well as the campus beautification projects that have happened along the perimeter, landscaping, and signage. For tonight, the TEFRA hearing is specifically for 2 additional tax-exempt obligations that are proposed for the amount not to exceed $30 million. For projects A and I of the approved master plan. These projects include the Gym and Event Center, the Freed Center for Leadership and Service, and the Project 1 improvements to the athletic facilities on the campus as well. The TEFRA hearing is required through the Joint Powers Authority relationship as a part that's necessary for them to process these financings to nonprofit entities. And we are an elected body that, or City Council is an elected body that can make that motion and pass that resolution. The tax-exempt obligations would be issued through the Joint Powers Authority. The Vanguard University would be the recipient of the funds as a Section 501c3, and there is no fiscal impact to the city or financial obligation on the city's part. We are merely the body that makes the motion and passes the resolution and provides the TEFRA Act public hearing. So staff's recommendation is to conduct a public hearing, as mentioned, and adopt a resolution approving the issuance of the obligations in order to finance implementation for the Vanguard University Campus Master Plan. I have today representatives from the Vanguard University that also has a quick presentation that they would like to present to you as well.
Wonderful. Mr. Vasquez, you've got the floor.
Excellent. Mayor Stevens and Council, thanks for the opportunity to present on behalf of Vanguard. My name's David Vasquez. I'm the Chief of Staff at Vanguard, and of course we would certainly welcome your approval of this project. Grateful for your approval last go around. I don't have a clicker, so if you could go to the third slide. We'll start here. Staff did an incredible job, and thank you, Dan, for your extraordinary work. As always. I think what I want to highlight is exactly what you focused on, our 30-year campus master plan. The item before you is to fund the third project in the master plan. So we went before council, approved in 2019, and here we are already embarking on our third project. So we started with the WASP Student Center. I will add that this space has been, for lack of a better term, a game changer for our community. And when I mean that, it's not been just a space for our students, but at the lunch hour, you will find a number of city employees. We are the de facto cafeteria for your city staff, and we welcome that. That's who we want to be in the community. The next slide, please. This is just to show you the last bond, what your approval went to. These are some of the older buildings on campus, 2 dormitories built in the 60s, some of the first buildings to be built when we moved to the campus in 1950. And we did an entire exterior facelift, renovated dormitory rooms. What we're trying to do at Vanguard is enhance the student experience, and we're already seeing that pay off. So this is just one of the several projects that the last financing helped to support. Next one. You've seen it, I'm sure, but our new corner, perimeter, and fencing for us has really been to signify to the community, the university's here, we welcome you, it helps with security enhancements, and our Vanguard community has been really excited about this one. We're grateful that we had Mayor Stevens and your excellent city manager to join us. Next slide, and the next slide really is where I want to land, and this is the next project in our campus master plan and why we're before you. This is the Freed Center. It'll go in the current designated area where the gym is located, and this will be a dynamic athletic and learning facility. This will house our 17 Division I athletic programs, all of the amenities needed for a world-class athletic facility. We are excited to partner with local schools, as we already do, but to expand our offerings, camps, and the like. It'll also be a classroom space, 5 new classrooms. It'll house our kinesiology program, one of our top 5 largest majors, and growing in our region. So how can we focus on sports therapy, physical therapy, and things like that? So just wanted to provide the context. The campus master plan is becoming actionable, and we're seeing results. So I'm here. We have our consultants on the bond and tax side of things, as well as our bank, should you have any questions. Thank you.
Okay, council, open it up to questions. Any questions of either staff or Mr. Vasquez or any of his colleagues? I see none. I hear none. Okay, so let's open it up to public comment. Does anybody within the chambers wish to speak to this item? I don't see anybody. Anybody on Zoom?
Ask a question just to mess with Mr. Inlows, but I'll
Did you want to ask a question?
No, I'm teasing.
You want to mess with Dr.
I kind of wanted to mess with Mr. Inlows, but I'm good.
Okay, all right.
None on Zoom,
Nobody
Mr.
on
Mayor.
Zoom? All right, close public comment. So let's call for or not call for the question. Let's get a motion on. Okay, so move to approve by Chavez?
Correct.
Okay, second by Councilmember Harper. Anything to support your motion?
This is one of the first votes I took on council was approving the 30-year master plan for Vanguard. And what I'll say, it's been a joy seeing the campus evolve. It's been really beautiful seeing the new entranceway for your campus. And I can't wait to see how much more you develop and beautify Costa Mesa. So thank you.
All right. Councilmember Harper, do you have anything to say about your second?
Just a fantastic institution and a proud institution for us to have here in Costa Mesa, and thank you. And I wanted to see if I could get a motion or a second motion, so it's like Jeopardy. I finally beat some of you guys, so thank you.
You got to be quick. You got the right answer, too. Okay, great job. Thank you very much for being here and all the improvements and everything you're doing for the city and for your campus. 1950. So I didn't say this before, but there's two things that I have in common with Vanguard University. We were both born in Pasadena, and we moved to Costa Mesa. Okay, call for the question.
Motion carries 7-0.
All right. Congratulations and thank you. Next, we have 2 new business items. Madam Clerk, would you please read the title for new business item number 1?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Costa Mesa, California, adding Chapter 15, Unlawful Possession of a Catalytic Converter to Title 11, Offenses Miscellaneous of the Costa Mesa Municipal Code to establish regulations prohibiting the unlawful possession of catalytic converters in the city. Presentation by Sergeant Watkins.
Sergeant Watkins, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Excuse me, Lieutenant Watkins.
Oh, Lieutenant.
Thank you. I wasn't going to correct Brenda.
You know, it's my fault. You know why? Because I was trying to get my notebook here because I wanted to get your rank right, but I wasn't quick enough on the draw.
Thank you.
Lieutenant
Watkins, sir.
Okay.
And I have a PowerPoint if that's available. Do I need to set it up now? Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. Good evening. The Costa Mesa Police Department is recommending adoption of a new municipal court ordinance to assist us in combating the rising crime of catalytic converter theft. Just for a little background, a catalytic converter is a part of a vehicle's exhaust system that reduces harmful emissions. They contain semi-precious metals like rhodium, palladium, and platinum. Catalytic converter theft is one of the fastest growing crimes in California and around our nation. Criminals are stealing catalytic converters to recycle them for those semi-precious metals, profiting from $200 to $1,200 per converter, depending on the size and the amount of those metals in them. Criminals can steal a catalytic converter in a matter of seconds using common tools like a reciprocating saw. And one of the challenges is catalytic converters are not serialized. So unless we catch a theft in progress, they're nearly impossible to match to a victim or a victim vehicle. As you can see by this graph, catalytic converter thefts have grown exponentially in our city. From 2019 to 2021, over a 1,200% increase in 2 years. So far this year, as through April, we have 106 thefts, so we're right on pace to meet the same numbers as last year, unfortunately. The police department's used multiple strategies to prevent catalytic converter theft, apprehend thieves, and also educate the public. Among those have been directed enforcement, patrol operations, undercover surveillance, the use of bait cars and drones. And we've also used public education campaigns on our social media accounts and organized etching events at a local automotive business to try to put vehicle license numbers or phone numbers on people's catalytic converters so they can be linked back to them. The enforcement challenges that we have are there's no serialization, makes it impossible to trace stolen catalytic converters to their owners. Current state law requires a victim to be identified before an arrest, and charges can be filed for theft or possession of stolen property. And currently, there's no city, state, or federal laws that hold offenders accountable for possession of unlawfully obtained catalytic converters without identifying the associated victims. So in general, if we stop a car and they have 3 or 4 catalytic converters in their vehicle, if we can't identify a victim, we're going to have some serious trouble charging them with possession of stolen property or linking them to a crime. Our proposed ordinance would make it unlawful for any person to possess any catalytic converter that is not attached to a vehicle unless the person has valid documentation or other proof to verify that the person is in lawful possession of the catalytic converter. Second part to this ordinance would also make it unlawful for any person to knowingly falsify or cause to be falsified any information in any documentation or other proof intended to show lawful possession of a catalytic converter. Based upon the ordinance, proposed documentation would be written documentation that clearly identifies the vehicle that the catalytic converter originated from, and this could include bills of sale, photographs, emails, registration, and etching. A violation of these ordinance would be a misdemeanor, which could mean up to a year in jail or a $10,000 fine. Currently, there's several cities in Orange County that have adopted similar ordinances, including Irvine, Huntington Beach, and Mission Viejo. And adoption of this ordinance will provide Costa Mesa Police with a clearly established legal authority to assist in protecting the public and deterring this criminal activity. And with that, I'd be happy to entertain any questions if you have them.
Council, do you have any questions of Lieutenant Watkins? Okay.
I do.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Right,
Councilmember Harper.
Lieutenant Watkins, thanks for the presentation. What's the street value of a catalytic converter?
It depends on the size. Right now, I've heard complaints that it could cost up to $6,000 and take about 4 to 5 months to get one in stock.
That's to replace it?
To replace it for victims.
What can I sell it for?
It depends the size of the converter, but it could be anywhere from $200 to $1,200 for the recycle fee.
Wow. Well, so that's that 300 or 400 a year. That's a lot of money for residents, isn't it? It's like 400 grand, maybe. What's been the success? Can you speak to the success of the other cities implementing this ordinance?
No, this is a very narrow scope that this ordinance would cover, and it would really cover, like I mentioned, is if we are on a patrol and we stop a suspicious vehicle in the neighborhoods at night and we come upon this. So it is a very scope. I'm not saying we're not boasting that this would solve the catalytic converter crisis, obviously, but this would close a small loophole in the law and help us that when those instances come, which are rare, that we could still hold these thieves accountable.
Okay, so I've had a personal experience, and the neighbors have had, and businesses I know have had the experience of people stealing stuff in our city, and then we can catch them in another city, but we can't because that police force won't cooperate. Could this in some way be and I don't know the law, I'm exposing my ignorance here, could this be a county ordinance and encompass all the cities and allow them all to, and it's maybe not a fair question, but that's kind of what's in my mind, because I think it's a good ordinance. And like I said, we've had experience where people steal stuff here. You know they're in another city, but we can't. It's the same similar problem, but different that you have here.
Yeah, I can't speak to that. My understanding is, though, there is some talk in Sacramento as to coming up with some kind of legislation statewide.
Okay. If anybody can give me any advice on how to push that, I think it's it would be a great state law. So thanks, Lieutenant.
Thank you.
Lieutenant, I got a couple. Oh, sorry. Mayor
I was just going to say, I think there's actually 8 different bills in the legislature right now to do exactly what you're talking about, Councilmember.
So how frequently does this happen, what you've described that we're trying to address here, where somebody's pulled over and they've got a bunch of catalytic converters, but we can't do anything about it because we can't prove that there's a victim? It
is rare, Mr. Mayor. I would anticipate, I mean, we're talking less than 10 a year or something of
Yeah.
that nature.
So, is there any, when you talk about theft of catalytic converters, is there any particular place that catalytic converters are usually stolen? In other words, is it I'm just, my hypothesis is it's a single family street, a quiet, sleepy street, car parked on the street, thief comes up and steals the catalytic converter. I don't know whether that's true or not, but it would seem to me like parking your car in your garage would be a good thing, cleaning the junk. I mean, by the way, I'm just as bad as everybody else. I get one car in my garage, but cleaning the junk out of your garage and parking it would probably help. You'll be less likely to have your catalytic converter stolen. What about driveways? Just being able to park on your driveway. Do we see fewer catalytic converters stolen from driveways, or does it not matter? What about like multifamily versus single family? Are catalytic converters stolen at apartments in their carport, or is it more, is there any trends that you could talk about that we could kind of say to the public, protect yourself by parking your car in a particular place that's more safe than another place?
Well, we haven't actually seen too many trends because we've had them stolen during the daytime, during nighttime, in residential communities, in people's driveways on the street, and then also in commercial establishments where they have a lot of commercial vehicles. So on the weekends, U-Haul, for instance. So we are seeing this across the board, day and night, at different locations. As far as what the public can do to take steps to protect themselves, yes, parking in your own garage, if you have the opportunity to do that, would be the number one thing to avoid being victimized, to have your catalytic converter stolen. There are catalytic converter retention devices that can be purchased and added to vehicles if people wanted to do that, which makes the reason that this is such an easy thing is it literally takes one cut of basically the exhaust pipe and they're out. We've actually seen surveillance where they can pull up in vehicles with a small jack. They have several vehicles, a lookout and whatnot, and they're in and out within 60 seconds. They've got it cut, they've got the car jacked up, and they're gone. So we would ask the public, obviously, if you see something, say something. If you see suspicious people in your neighborhood, call the police department. A lot of the criminals that we've caught over the years have been people hearing the reciprocating saw in the middle of the night, the light sleepers, whatnot, and they call that in, and we were able to make a stop as the vehicle's leaving the area. Because by the time we get the call and it comes through, obviously the vehicle's left, so we're usually catching them on maybe a major thoroughfare. Also, etching, we still have a relationship with Expertech Automotive, and they're still offering etching for the public free of charge if they make an appointment ahead of time.
Are we doing better? I mean, it did last year. I know it's trending to the same amount of incidents, but are we having more arrests?
I don't have the numbers on that. I could get back to you with that.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks. Okay, anyway, so we've asked a bunch of questions. Anybody else? Okay, we're good. Open it up to public comment. I don't see anybody. There's like literally nobody in the chambers for the record. Except for Dave, sorry, David, sorry. You're somebody. All right. Okay. Okay, anyway, anybody on Zoom?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, close public comment. I'll entertain a motion. Okay, motion by, congratulations, motion by Donald Harper.
I'll take car parts for 200.
And seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Mar. And do you have anything to say about your motion, Councilmember Harper?
Yeah, Mayor Stevens, I think we had 2 or 3 stolen in our neighborhood this year, and it's frustrating for you guys. It's one of the reasons we installed the flock system, but totally support. This is just common sense, so I appreciate it. That's all.
Every little thing helps. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Let's call for the question.
Councilmember Reynolds, please. Yes, thank you. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, good job. Thank you very much, Lieutenant. Thank you, Council. Okay, now we have another item, our new business item number 2, also pertaining to the Police Department. Please read the title, Madam Clerk.
Thank you. This is the termination of jail services contract between Allied Universal and the City of Costa Mesa. Presentation by Captain Lapointe.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council and also our community. Captain Joyce Lapointe and I oversee our jail services operation division. We have given you a staff report in regards to our jail services contract with Allied Universal, and we've made several recommendations in that report. Tonight, I am requesting that we terminate the professional services agreement for our jail services between Allied Universal and the City of Costa Mesa. And I'm also requesting council to authorize city manager or her designee to negotiate an agreement with the City of Huntington Beach for temporary jail services and or hire temporary staffing to operate our Costa Mesa jail at this time. I'm here to answer any of your questions.
Council, do you have any questions for Captain Lapointe? No? Okay. Let's open it up to public comment. Does anybody in chambers? No? Anybody on Zoom? No?
Nope.
Close public comment. I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Councilmember Gameros. Is it the motion to approve?
Yes, it is. I'd like to make a motion to approve staff
wonderful.
recommendation.
And then seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Mar. Councilmember Gameros, do you wish to say anything about your motion?
Yes, I do briefly. Anytime we have a chance to support our police department, I believe we should. And since we can do that in this case, I'm very happy to see that we can hopefully move forward in a positive manner and help the department out anyway. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Mayor Pro Tem Mar.
Nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay. I support the motion. I just have to say one thing. I thank you very much to the police department for coming up with alternatives in a difficult situation. I will say that when you outsource city services to a company that provides those on a contract basis, one of the consequences is issues with performance that could lead to termination. And that's a risk that we took way back when, and that risk has come to roost. And I appreciate that the city, that the police department is making the best of it under the circumstances. I definitely support the motion. Thank you.
Well said, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for adding that.
Let's call for the question.
Motion carries 7-0.
Okay, we don't have anything else, I don't think. Do any council members have anything they wanted to say that they didn't say before?
Yeah, Mayor.
Okay, Councilmember Reynolds.
Thank you. Just had a follow-up comment on the catalytic converter item that I didn't have a chance to squeeze in. My family did have to pay to have one replaced. I've paid to put brackets on my car. It's a lot of money to lose and to spend, and I didn't realize that there's now a 6-month lead time or so to replace. So really something that we want to avoid. I appreciate you bringing the item. I was flipping through some of our social media to see if we've had Spanish language information about the free etching opportunity. If we can add that and maybe just sort of boost some of the posts about preventative measures, and then of course, what happens if you get caught with a catalytic converter that's not yours. I think that'd be really helpful for our community. Thank you.
Okay, I don't have anything else. Any other council members? All right, we're adjourned at 7:59. Well done. 7:49.